I'm trying to set up the microphone.
All right, welcome back. Right now, we're coming up on our 6 o'clock hour. Again, we're looking at a house fire. This is where photojournalist Alex Gomez had kind of got taken off of what he was initially working on to get to this. I think as you mentioned in the last half hour, there are about 17 units out there.
That's right, Jeff. According to the San Antonio Fire Department active fire page, we're looking at about 17 units at the scene of this fire. This is at the 300 block of Viendo Street. That is off of West Hildebrand and I-10 on the near northwest side of town. You can see that we still have heavy smoke coming through that one structure there, and several fire crews again on the scene trying to knock this out. And we don't know yet about any potential injuries, and we hope that everyone is okay out there.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we're going to stay on top of. I know Alex said that when he did get out to the scene, there were sparks shooting from the roof, fire billowing from the roof as well. So it seems like they made some progress with getting it knocked down at least. But like you mentioned, you can tell they're just taking out some hot spots right now that's out there in the area.
Yeah, and you know what, something else Alex mentioned before we left you at 5 o'clock was that this is pretty close to a power line. So I think they're trying to make sure that this fire does not extend to the power line and make sure that everyone there is safe for all of those residents. Again, 300 block of Viendo Street off of 10 and West Hildebrand on the near northwest side. And Alex on the scene, we'll get more details from him in just a little bit.
So obviously they're around a lot of heat right now, but we're looking outside. The temperatures are showing 71 degrees for us so far. Justin, again, cooler mornings, still warm afternoons.
Pretty much. That has kind of been the standard, right? And thankfully, there is not a lot of wind out there, so that's helping the firefighters this morning.
So how are the roadways looking?
Yeah, so initially we're going to have Alex cover everything that's going on with the roads and talk about a pretty big closure, but I'll go ahead and handle that here from the station. 20 minutes coming in right now from the far west side, and we're taking a look at 25 minutes coming in from Bernie, 26 coming in from New Braunfels. So it's been pretty quiet. Part of the reason why we went ahead and shifted Alex over to that fire. 35, we did see a little bit of slowdowns here over by Randolph Boulevard, but we are good to go for all of our folks here. But we do have a significant closure that we are going to have later on tonight. This is going to be taking place basically around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight on the northeast side of town, the far northeast side of town, basically 35 south from the Forum area, Forum Parkway to 1604. Both directions of 1604 will be shut down throughout the entire weekend. So there are detours that will take you through Lookout Road. Pat Booker Road's also a potential option as well, but this is going to be a major closure for all of our drivers on the northeast side of town. We're going to talk a little bit later on about a major closure on the northwest side of town over I-10 at 1604, and we'll give you those details as we make our way through Good Morning San Antonio. Justin, how are we looking outside on this Friday morning?
Well, it's quiet, RJ. We've got some clouds out there for now. I think we'll see mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Right now, 72. It's not as cool as it has been. 66 New Braunfels, 70 in Converse, 64 Bernie, 68 Stinson. Not bad. We're just still missing that fall-like feeling, right? So we'll start with temperatures perhaps dipping into the 60s this morning for a brief moment with some cloud cover, and then we'll be up near 90 this afternoon. Big surprise, right? It seems like that's where we've been every day. We do get a little bit of change, though, this weekend. Cold front or a frontal boundary will slip down into the area by Sunday morning. That will bring some lower humidity, some slightly lower temperatures. But what you'll really notice are those morning lows. And by Monday morning, we'll have low temperatures back in the low 60s. I know that's still not super fall-like, but at least it's a little bit of a change. We'll talk more about that front and its impacts for our weekend forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. One of our top stories this half hour, an update to a story that we've been following. A former Holy Cross coach has been rearrested for an additional charge of invasive visual recording. An affidavit obtained by KSAT 12 reveals new details about 34-year-old Armando Arnulfo Flores. It says that he used a nanny cam disguised as an alarm clock to record without raising any suspicion. While he was able to remotely delete some of the footage, officials did find video of a 13-year-old changing as well as two deacons. There was also a recording from September of a suspect and a former staff member having sex. Police contacted that victim, who said that they did not want to press charges. However, Flores' cell phone revealed that he told the victim what to say to police officials. Currently, his bond sits at $75,000.
This morning, we are learning more about the man who was shot and killed this week after San Antonio police say that he shot at officers and wounded 2 of them. Those officers, fortunately, have been released from the hospital and are now at home recovering. Just weeks ago, though, cameras caught Odin Bustos at the Southside store flashing a gun and taking $300 and other items. A warrant for his aggravated robbery was issued. At the time of his death, Bustos was also wanted for violating parole and court order outside San Antonio. Court records show that Bustos had prior felony convictions for drugs, firearms, and family assault. And last year, we got a judge sentencing him to 2 years in prison, but credited him for time served. So, released less than 3 months later. According to Bexar County District Attorney, a 2024 weapons charge against him was dropped because the arresting agency didn't provide enough evidence.
And this morning, many people are asking, why was Stacy Dramiga, a beloved healthcare worker in our community, killed? Just recently, Bexar County Sheriff's investigators arrested this man, linked 23-year-old Samuel Charon to the murder through DNA. He's accused of sexually assaulting and killing the 63-year-old in September of last year. Her body was found near a walking trail near DeFoss Park. That site just steps away from Charon's home on Como Street, where neighbors tell us that he seemed to be carrying on with his life as usual.
Knowing that what you did a year ago to that young lady, and how can you live in your conscience? I don't know. Arguing with himself. Really? Nobody, he goes to the backyard. Ah!
Charon now faces a charge of capital murder.
A lawsuit that began in Castle Hills and reached the U.S. Supreme Court is over. We're talking about the city of Castle Hills settling the lawsuit and now owes Sylvia Gonzalez $500,000. Gonzalez was arrested in 2019 and charged with tampering with government records after grabbing a citizen's petition signed by neighbors who wanted the city manager removed. But the charges were dropped about a month later. But Gonzalez sued the city of Castle Hills, saying that her First Amendment rights were violated. Last year, the Supreme Court ruled in her favor, and as a part of that settlement, Castle Hills will work with the Texas Municipal League to create a training program about First Amendment rights. It'll be mandatory for all city staff and Castle Hills.
6:05 this morning, moving a water chilling plant to make way for Project Marvel could cost more than $200 million. But who is going to be carrying all that water? As voters prepare to decide on helping fund a key part of Project Marvel, a new Spurs arena, we also looked at the project on the other side of that proposed district. Let's break this down. The city is considering moving the chilled water plant across from the Grand Hyatt to make room for a new convention center hotel. The plant cools downtown landmarks like the Alamo Dome and the Tower of the Americas. SAWS plans to build a bigger facility to handle growth with costs expected, again, around $200 million. A feasibility study will determine funding options, including a city bond or tax district.
Your feasibility study is only looking at how much the growth would get you, and then it's whatever gap that is, that's where a bond or TERS or something else would fall in, right?
At the city's discretion, yes. Okay. There would have to be something else because, as we were talking just before, this cannot be borne by our water and wastewater customers because it has nothing to do with those customers.
And to emphasize that last part, the utility says the cost of moving the plant would not fall on regular customers, though the utility is still planning on a rate hike for other costs. And while they both fall under the Project Marvel umbrella, this project of moving the SAWS plant to make way for a convention center hotel is separate from the new Spurs arena on the other side of Hemisphere.
All right, happening this weekend, we got a big concert to tell you about. It's being thrown in honor of the Hunt community.
That's right. Patty Santos is live in our newsroom to tell us what is unique about this concert. Good morning, Patty.
Hey there, good morning. So we've been talking about this concert for several weeks. It's happening finally this weekend from 3 to 10 in Boerne. Hope for Hunt benefit concert. Yesterday we went to check out the venue, and this is where it's going to be held at Pure Country Barbecue and Grill on Main Street. Tickets have been reduced to $80 for 2 tickets. You can scan the QR code right now on your screen for more information. The event will benefit the Hunt Volunteer Fire Department and the Preservation Society. Aside from the big headliners coming in, there's also a lot of special surprises for the silent auction part of the benefit, including firearms, art, gift cards, and signed memorabilia. What are you most excited about?
I'm just excited for everybody to come together and to come as one to help out this community. I mean, to show the support. I've seen people, they've cried, they felt alone, and this
the artists, the committee, the people that just are coming out just to buy a ticket, showing them that we haven't forgotten and that we're here and we're going to continue to be there.
Yeah. And listen, this entire event is put on by volunteers, donors, and corporations in the Hill Country. And they hope that anyone who ever visited Hunt or one of those camps will return to support them during this event. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to talk about if you cannot make it to this concert, there are other fundraisers that are starting later today. We're going to tell you about them coming up.
All right, thank you, Patty. This morning, Governor Greg Abbott has ordered Texas DPS and the Texas National Guard to deploy officers and troops to Austin ahead of a planned protest tomorrow. The event is a part of a nationwide demonstration that organizers are calling No Kings protests. Activists are claiming that they are speaking out against the Trump administration's mass deportation push, among other things. Well, Abbott said that violence and destruction will not be tolerated and vowed arrest for anyone who breaks the law. He didn't say whether the plan to deploy the National Guard to other Texas cities where protests are planned, including San Antonio. And again, we want you to take a look at this incredible video right here. Kind of scary as well. This is a silo in Illinois collapsing, sending dust and debris flying. The video shows workers and first responders fleeing as the elevator snaps in half, tumbling to the ground. Authorities say that the silo, built in 1972, was filled with 30,000 bushels of harvested soybean when it failed. Remarkably, though, everyone escaped unharmed. Some crazy video right there, isn't it, Justin?
Wild. So glad to see everyone's okay. As RJ said earlier, it looks like something from a movie. All right, live cam. We've got 610, 72 degrees. This is what we're awaiting this weekend. Frontal boundary with some drier air by Sunday. We'll explain what that means for your weekend forecast coming up.
A lot of times our culture said be macho. You know, you got to go through the pain. It's not a time to be macho. You know, if you feel something, go get it checked.
For years, Jose and Edmundo Martinez could not walk without pain. Now they're back on their feet after a groundbreaking procedure that is changing lives. The San Antonio surgeon who is making this all possible, coming up next.
I was a farm laborer under my dad, and he made sure I got up at the break of dawn and worked oftentimes till the sun went down.
This week on Pickup Lines, Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai shares his incredible family story, how those roots and hard work, honor, and humility still guide him today.
Time right now, 6:14. Well, listen to this. Hispanics experience a higher prevalence of health problems like peripheral artery disease. What is it? PAD causes symptoms like leg pain when walking, cramps, or numbness. Today, we're visiting with a San Antonio area doctor leading the surgery count with a new minimally invasive procedure.
But that pain was always there. You know, it was like if I stood for more than 15, 20 minutes, it was pretty bad.
Jose Martinez, 66, and his brother Edmundo, 71, were both diagnosed with peripheral artery disease, or PAD, this summer. That's when arteries that carry blood are clogged, making it hard for blood to get to your legs and feet, causing pain, numbness, or tingling.
They did the basic tests, and eventually they determined that I had a blockage in my leg.
The brothers, under the care of Dr. Christopher Buskin at Northeast Baptist Hospital, underwent a new minimally invasive surgery that created a path around that blockage. Here's how Dr. Buskin explains the detour system.
What we have is the superficial femoral artery here with a long blockage. Then we have the femoral vein over here. So what we'll do is I'll pop in from the artery into the vein, go around that blockage. So this is the frontage road. And then I pop back in on the I-35 a little bit lower down.
I love how you explain it. People can understand traffic jams in this town.
It's an alternative to major open bypass surgery, which he says are high risk for infection and involve long stays in the hospital. And stents don't last as long as doctors would like to see.
So the procedure that the brothers had, it really kind of combines the best of both worlds.
I was walking dramatically different.
Do you have any of those patients that have come back with any issues at all?
You know, there are a few people. You know, it is a requirement that you have to take your medications afterwards. If you're not going to take your medications, this is probably not the surgery for you.
Okay, so your risk factors for PAD are higher if you are Hispanic, you have a history of diabetes in the family, you have high blood pressure, you're obese, or you're a smoker. And Dr. Buskin has done over 30 of these surgeries. He's a leading doctor in Texas trying out this, again, new minimally invasive procedure. Japhanie.
All right. Thank you so much, Patty. Very good to know right there. Okay, rodeo fans, we need you to listen up because we now have more artists who will be performing at the next year's stock show and rodeo. Rodeo officials announcing that Brad Paisley and Russell Dickerson have joined the lineup. The event will be next Friday, February 12th through March the 1st. There will be more artists added to the lineup in the next few months. And of course, you can find more information on tickets and performances at KSAT.com. I'm so excited about it. I wish it was next Friday. I said that 2 times now. Next February. Okay. And I love me some Russell Dickerson, too.
Yeah.
It's about time for a drink.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Time for...
Here we go, Jeff.
Y'all know the song.
It's a jam.
Yes, very much so.
Well, you know, whenever I think of the rodeo, I think of cooler weather, and it seems to always hit sometimes around the rodeo. But we just are not into fall yet, and I think Sarah has been terming it the fall fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very fair, very fair. But we do get a few changes this weekend, which we'll talk about here in just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get you updated on the roads right now because we do have a developing situation on the southwest side of town. Basically 410, look at that. Basically a sea of brake lights right there over by 410. That's going to be our southbound traffic right there at Old Pearsall Road. Now, right now we're looking at about a 25-minute delay for all of our folks that are making their way down from Ray Ellison. That's that one area on 410 further down the road from Medina Base Road as well. So a lot of folks obviously use this one entire stretch to get in and around the Lackland Air Force Base area. So we'll keep an eye on this situation. Right now, TxDOT is not reporting this. I just kind of noticed this on our maps, and then I went to the camera and spotted exactly what was going on there. So this looks like a pretty good delay from Old Pearsall Road down to the 410-35 interchange for all of our drivers on the southwest side of town. How about across the city? Look at this. Everything else is looking great so far. So our fingers are crossed. Traffic's looking good on the northeast side. No major issues on the northwest side. But again, we do have some major closures that we're going to continue to talk about. Coming up at 6:30, I'm going to let you guys know about those major closures taking place on the northwest side later on this weekend. All right, Justin, how are we looking outside, my man, as we get set for what should be a fun weekend?
Yeah, it's quiet this morning, RJ. Let's get you out the door this morning. Temperatures will be upper 60s to near 70, 72 at 9 o'clock, and then by noontime 83. We'll reach a high right around 90 this afternoon. So another warm days, especially by October standards. Mostly clear skies. You know, we average 6 days in the month of October where we're at 90 or above. The most we've ever seen is 19. As of right now, we've had 14 days. Today would make 15 days out of the month where we've been 90 or above. Pretty impressive. I think we'll be pretty close to this record, if not beating it by the end of the month. We shall see. Futurecast shows we could see a few showers to our east today. I don't expect much, but what we'll be awaiting is a frontal boundary, which will sink south as we get into Saturday. Now, most of Saturday, well, all of Saturday will be spent warm and humid, but there could be a couple of showers right along the front Saturday night. Is this something to worry about? No. The odds are at 10%. The front slides too, we get drier air by Sunday morning, and Sunday will feel a little bit better. 93 Saturday, that would tie a record, by the way. A 10% chance of a shower, then 88 Sunday with lower humidity. So that's what you can expect over the weekend. Really pretty quiet, just know it'll be breezy too as we get into Sunday. Also, we could use the rain. So far, we have not seen hardly anything at all. And this could go down as one of the driest Octobers on record. So that's pretty rough. That is not what we want to see. All right, let's go to the 7-day forecast here. 93 tomorrow, as I said, close to a record. We get some gusty winds Sunday morning, slightly cooler, but not by much. 91 Monday, 90 on Tuesday. We do get some cool mornings there, especially Monday morning, with us getting down to 63. All right, our Justin this morning has to do with seafood, because why not? I had some good seafood while I was on break, so that's why it was on my brain. Which U.S. state produces the most seafood? Just in general, we're talking quantity here. Is it Florida, Louisiana, Alaska, or California? Overwhelmingly, our viewers are saying Alaska. You can vote ksat.com/polls, scan the QR code. That answer comes in 30 minutes.
Okay, good stuff there. What'd you have? Some lobster, oysters?
A little bit of everything, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
Time now is 6:21. We're looking at 71 degrees outside.
Okay, turkey, stuffing, and savings. That won't empty your wallet. We're going to show you where to find the best holiday deals, including spots that you never think to check.
Thanksgiving is next month. Don't wait until the last minute to start shopping.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's the savings that won't gobble up your wallet.
This is a really, really good deal. This is a huge piece of turkey that's seasoned with stuffing at the bottom, green beans, butter, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, butter. This thing is so heavy, and then there's also gravy at the bottom here. 42 bucks.
The retailer's giving consumer deals right now for the Thanksgiving holiday and the spots you might not think of.
I would not be surprised if we see, value offers related to the Thanksgiving holiday. People spend around occasions, things that spark joy, that reckon nostalgia. So it's smart to get in on that occasion game, and I wouldn't be surprised if quick service did so.
And coming up at 7 a.m., I'm live in a cranberry bog with your GMA First Look. I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Traffic trouble this morning on the southwest side. 410 south at Old Pearsall Road seeing some major delays. We'll talk a little bit more about this, plus a major construction taking place on the northwest side. Also coming up at 6:30.
It's peaceful this morning, but most of the county be buzzing in certain parts as early voting starts on Monday. Unfortunately, you can't let your voice be heard if you don't have a lot of important documents, which fortunately can be found right here in the comfort of your wallet. But we're going over that checklist for you at 6:30. Plus, the road that you see here, pretty clean if you ask me, which is symbolic after the Bexar County Sheriff's Office got fentanyl-laced drugs off the streets, out of our communities. We talk about the arrest and the latest drug bust coming your way.
And we're following two major closures that will definitely be affecting your weekend plans. Photojournalist Alex Gomez has more in Drive Cam.
Yeah, that's correct, RJ. Big closures happening this weekend on both the northeast and the northwest sides of town, but we'll give you more details coming up.
This right here, not bags of sugar that you see Tommy is editing on for our shows this morning. It's actually a lot of drugs. We're going to talk about the not-so-sweet arrest that the Bexar County Sheriff's deputies made to get these illegal drugs off the street.
Coming up on DMSA, we're taking you to Bernie to talk about the Hope for Hunt benefit concert that's happening this weekend. We're going to talk about the artists that are going to be here.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And coming up on this 6:30 hour, again, we got so much to get to this morning. We had a fire that we covered earlier today, and now we're back with the roads and weather. RJ, how's it going?
All right, Jeff, I think we're going to talk about the fire first here. So let's go ahead and update all of our folks on this late breaking news that we had during our 5 o'clock hour. And again, we want to update you on this fire that we brought you earlier. This is what it looked like about 25 minutes or so ago, but that fire is now out. This is on Viendo Street, the 300 block of Viendo Street. That is near West Hildebrand Avenue. We know at least one person was treated for burns. Crews are still working on putting out some hot spots there.
Yeah, I know that was where photojournalist Alex Gomez was earlier today, kind of giving us all the things and details that we need, but we're back to normal.
Yes.
Figure out what things are looking like on our roadways as we speak right here at 6:30.
That's right, and a big reason that we're going to start here with traffic is because we have got a major closure for all of our drivers on the northwest side to kind of get you updated on. This is going to be over by the Rim and La Cantera. So let's go right now to photojournalist Alex Gomez, who's going to give us more details and break this all down for us. Good morning, Alex.
RJ, it's going to be a huge closure, so just know that 1604, the main lanes are going to be closed right there at that I-10 interchange, and then I-10, it's not going to be completely closed, but they are going to have alternating lane closures through that area, so just know that that's going to start tonight, just like the northeast side, and it's going to cause some big slowdowns because that place gets pretty packed on the weekends, RJ.
Thank you very much for that update, Alex. And real quick, before we get you out the door, I want to give you our inbound drive times. 25 minutes coming in from Bernie, 22 coming in from Casserole, but for the most part, everything has been good to go for all of our drivers. And again, that major construction taking place tonight, basically 9 o'clock at night, extending through Sunday, and hopefully they get that cleared out soon because there's going to have a lot of folks out there.
All right, Justin, tell us what's it's like at the bus stop.
Yeah, quiet this morning, guys. We've got a few clouds out there. We're going to start off with fairly quiet conditions. I did want to pass along the pollen count. Now, that says Friday. This was yesterday's pollen count. Molds were at 220. Ragweed is at 40. I wanted to give you yesterday's count because we're not going to have a pollen count today or next couple of days. Just want to make you aware of that, but we're kind of, at the moment, just kind of cruising here. We haven't had a whole lot of issues other than occasional ragweed there. So that is the latest with your pollen count. Forecast for today, 83 noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock, 90 will be our high temperature today. So another day where we hit 90 or above with mostly sunny skies. And if you're heading out to some of the football games tonight, one game in particular, Southside versus South San. That will be at South San Stadium. Temperatures at 86 at kickoff, 82 at halftime, and 78 for the drive home. Pretty good weather, just a little warm to start. We'll look at that weekend forecast for you again and time out that frontal boundary coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you, Justin. Happening this weekend, a big concert being thrown in honor of the Hunt community.
That's right. Our very own Patty Santos is live in the KSAT 12 newsroom to tell us what is unique about this concert. Good Friday morning, Patty.
Hey there, good morning. So the Hill Country floods happened about 3 months ago. Can you believe that? The reconstruction is still going on. That is why volunteers have put together the Hope for Hunt benefit concert that's happening in Boerne. We got a chance to see the venue yesterday. This is at Pure Country Barbecue and Grill on Main Street in Boerne, where the artists from around the area are going to be performing. We have headliners like the Thompson Square, Alan Hendrickson, and J.R. Herrera, among many that are going to be performing from 3 to 10 Saturday. The event, again, is a benefit for 2 nonprofits in Hunt, the Volunteer Fire Department and the Preservation Society. Now, this is a family-friendly event. There's going to be food that's going to be sold there, and there's going to be a silent auction as well as a live auction. This is all put together by volunteers who deeply care about Hunt. Ashley Hall was a camper in Hunt as a kid and a camp leader later on as a teen.
I want to keep helping, but I can't go there every single day. Yeah. It's a lot of gas, a lot of mileage, so what better way to help pour back into Hunt than helping pull this event together so that they can hire the contractors. That's the point that they're at. They can hire the contractors that they need to do the projects that only a contractor can basically do at this point. Yeah.
And listen, if you really want to pour into that community, but you can't make it to the concert, Willie's Grill and Ice House on Leon Springs is going to be donating 15% of their proceeds from today's benefit, from today sales to this benefit. There's other ways that you can help. We have the story on KSAT.com. Just search Hunt. Guys.
Testimony continues later this morning in the trial of 3 now former San Antonio police officers accused in the killing of Melissa Perez. Another officer who was at the apartment the night those officers shot and killed Perez took the stand yesterday. Officer Jonathan Salinas was the 3rd police officer to arrive the night of the incident in June of 2023. He was seen on body camera video climbing into Perez's apartment before she swung a hammer at him. When the prosecution asked why he did that, Salinas testified that Alfred Flores, who was one of the officers on trial, gave him the approval to do so.
And what did you discuss with Defendant Flores?
It was a short conversation. I advised him, hey, my misdemeanor charge for criminal mischief was now upgraded for felony amount. Spoke with Detective Thornton, Knight's ID, and advised him that I would like to try to apprehend her to the open window, which Flores responded, okay, keep me posted.
So Alfred Flores, Eleazar Alejandro, and Nathaniel Villalobos are on trial and were all fired from SAPD after shooting Perez in her apartment. That night, the police chief said that Perez was having a mental health crisis. Testimony continues at around 9:30 this morning, and we want you to watch it live as we're going to be streaming it on all of our platforms.
One of our other top stories this half hour, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of meth laced with fentanyl is off the streets this morning. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say it's why they arrested these 2 individuals right there, Yolanda Ramos Ponce and Tomas Hernandez. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says that deputies found the drugs at the True by Hilton Hotel on East Houston Street. That's in the downtown area. Deputies executed a search warrant after getting a tip. Now Ramos Ponce and Hernandez are both facing drug possession charges. Okay, 6:36 right now. KSAT getting a sneak peek here. Check this out at a brand new manufacturing plant that is set to open on the city's south side, and with it bring 1,500 jobs. This is JCB Texas. It's a company that builds heavy construction equipment. That facility is off of Palo Alto Road and has actually doubled in size even before it officially opens. The plan was initially expected to be around 500,000 square feet, but now it's 1 million square feet. JCB Texas will be the company's largest facility in the world.
You know, Texas is a big piece of our business anyway. A lot of our machines that are built here will stay here, and Texas is a great place to distribute machines from. So just a natural evolution of our business to build more in the US, and Texas is a great place to do it.
The plant sits on 400 acres, so the company says that there's room to expand even more. JCB Texas is expected to open a year from now. We have information on how you can apply for a job there right now on KSAT.com.
All right, in your morning headlines right now, Senate Republican leaders are considering taking up a bill as soon as next week to pay federal workers affected by the government shutdown. Up until now, we got some lawmakers have held off on voting to pay workers, saying that Democrats needed to vote to reopen the government for that to happen. 60 votes would be needed for it to advance, which would require bipartisan support. Senate Majority Leader John Thune took procedural steps Wednesday to put the bill on the floor. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been indicted on 18 counts. He's accused of storing top secret records at his home and sharing classified notes about his time in government. Prosecutors say the hackers linked to Iran accessed some of that material through Bolton's email. And Bolton is denying the charges, calling them part of what he describes as an effort by President Donald Trump to intimidate his opponents.
It is 6:38, 72 degrees as we go outside with live cam, and the sunrise this morning will be at 7:37. Sunset around 7:01. So we're getting closer to seeing that sunset before 7 p.m. Your weekend forecast is straight ahead.
And traffic is looking really good right now on the northeast side of town, 35-1604, but that will not be the case as we get into the weekend. I'm going to tell you about a major closure taking place on the northeast side coming up in just a bit.
I give great credence to people who do farm labor. They are the essence of our community.
This week on Pickup Lines, we got a candid conversation with Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai. Up next, how his family sacrifice and his father's fight to escape a World War II internment camp shaped the values he lives by today. Welcome back. It is 6:42. This week on Pickup Lines, Ernie Zuniga has a candid conversation with Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai. His grandparents immigrated to the United States from Japan, but Judge Sakai grew up in McAllen. He's the oldest of 4 kids and grew up in a family on a farm laborers. He often had to work the fields before and after school.
I was a farm laborer under my dad, and he made sure I got up at the break of dawn and worked oftentimes till the sun went down. And I give great credence to people who do farm labor. They are the essence of our community to bring those foods and vegetables and fruits to our table and to feed us. And so it taught me, and I value the fact that hard work was always a value that my family, my father made sure we understood. We, in order to be successful, always have to work hard. We have to live in an honest and with integrity. And we also have to, above all, be humble and humility.
So Judge Sakai also opens up about his dad having to enlist in the U.S. Army in order to escape a Japanese internment camp in California right after World War II. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres at 5:30 and replays at 7:30 this evening on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it right now at KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines. All right, it's not long until Election Day, and we're talking about early voting starting on Monday. This election is different from San Antonio, though.
Absolutely. We've been talking about this for weeks now. It has the potential to reshape the downtown area with the Spurs Arena vote. But let's say you live outside Bexar County. There are 17 constitutional amendments that are on your ballot. KSAT digital reporter Christian Riley gets you ready to cast your ballot.
This will be my first election as a San Antonio voter, so I'm bringing you along my own journey to make sure I'm registered to vote this November.
By the way, all these resources are available at ksat.com/vote.
First, I'm going to votetexas.gov to make sure I'm registered to vote.
I'm entering my name, date of birth, and zip code, and it shows the word active right here, so that means I'm good to vote.
Now let's talk about what to bring. Everyone needs an ID to vote in Texas, and this can include a driver's license, a voter registration card, a DPS-issued public safety card, a U.S. military ID, a citizenship certificate, or a passport. You can also bring notes about the candidates to reference as you vote, as long as it's not visible to others. But you'll want to leave the Spurs jersey at home. No clothing or signs supporting a political candidate, party, or ballot measure are allowed in the polling place. And this year, that includes Spurs and Rodeo gear. Now all that's left to do is figure out where to vote. Bexar County voters can vote at any polling place, even on Election Day. The list of polling places and their hours can be found on the Bexar County Election Department's website. Christian Riley, KSAT 12 News.
All right. Thank you so much, Christian. And obviously, we got to talk about voting in Bexar County. Well, next week, you can do that weekdays from 8 to 6. On Saturday, October the 25th, polls are open from 7 to 7. And you can also vote on Sunday, October the 26th, from noon to 6 p.m. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on October 27th to October 31st. And again on Election Day, which is Tuesday, November the 4th.
All right, 6:46. So we've been talking a lot about construction projects taking place this weekend. So let's focus on the northeast side for all of our drivers here. Starting tonight around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight, and extending through Monday morning, we will have the southbound lanes of 35 over by Forum Parkway. That will be closed, headed towards 1604 in both directions. They're also going to be closing all the clover leaves in this one particular spot. So basically, if you're heading out 35 south, you're going to have to exit, go through Lookout Road. Also, Pat Booker Road will be an option for you to detour around this major construction project, again, taking place later on tonight and extending through the entire weekend, basically Monday morning. Let's give you a quick check at the citywide map because we are seeing a little bit of delays right here for our drivers headed up Braun, Shanefield Road, headed up Bandera Road. But again, no major issues across the north parts of the San Antonio area. But we do have an issue on the southwest side of town over 410 at Old Pearsall Road. Let's go to Alex Gomez right now. I believe he is at this scene where we see a sea of parking lights there. Alex?
Yeah, a lot of brake lights right now. So the main tie-up was construction, but when I was passing that area on the other side of the highway, it looks like those crews were actually leaving the area. But right now, it does look like in that backup, there was a minor accident. So now there's a new tie-up on 410 South at Ray Ellison. So I'm going to see how long it takes me to get through this area. But so far, it's been about 5 minutes, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex, for all of our drivers there on the southwest side of town.
All right, we're about a month and a half from the inaugural San Antonio Marathon, and with the new race hosted by San Antonio Sports, there's a new route going through several neighborhoods across the city. Where the marathon will start downtown, make its way first through the historic King William neighborhood, and then a little bit over halfway through the marathon course, at about mile 15, runners will be getting into Alamos Park.
This is the first time that the San Antonio Marathon will be coming this way and right in front of your shop.
This is such a special little section of the neighborhood. We have such amazing small businesses and people that are on this stretch. So I'm excited to one, cheer on people, but then also have new people who haven't been to this part of the neighborhood before run by.
Coming up on GMSA at 9, we're going to show you what a few local business owners and neighbors have planned for the thousands of runners going through their neighborhoods.
Love it. Almost Park and King William, two historic areas. Well, if you love comics, TV, movies, or just want to dive into the world of fandom, listen up. Big Texas Comic-Con is back this weekend at the Gonzalez Convention Center. You can meet celebrity guests like Anthony Starr, known for his role as Homelander on The Boys. That's that Prime series. Jason Isaacs from Harry Potter and the White Lotus. He played the dad in the last season of The White Lotus. For more information and a link to buy tickets, all you got to do is head over to KSAT.com.
All right, so let's take a look outside. We've got a few clouds out there this morning. I just went outside and checked out some of the cloud cover. I think we're going to have a pretty nice sunrise this morning. If you want to go check that out, should be pretty colorful. 72 right now at the airport, 66 in New Braunfels, so a little cooler there. 70 in Converse, 64 Bernie, 68 right now at Stinson. So nice for the moment, but we do know things are going to warm up. We'll start out at about 70 here in San Antonio with some of those morning clouds. And then by the afternoon, we'll go mostly sunny and we'll reach a temperature near 90. So do know it will be hot this afternoon and even hotter yet tomorrow. So high temperatures today, 90 to 91. I'd say here across Bexar County, you'll find some 80s in the hill country. But look at tomorrow. We go all the way up to 93. And by the way, if we hit 93, that would be a record high for the day. So October has just been a blazing hot month. Tomorrow will be no different. Now, the good news here is that we do get a frontal boundary that will sink south into the area by Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And that does a couple of things for us. It doesn't really lower temperatures that much, but it will lower humidity. And by the way, we could see a stray shower or two across our eastern counties today, maybe one or two tomorrow. I don't expect anything here in San Antonio. Not until this front comes through. There is a chance right as the front comes through, we could see a couple showers. That would be between 7 and midnight tomorrow. Nothing that would really interrupt any of your plans. The bigger story will be the drier air that shifts in by Sunday, and we'll get some much lower humidity on Sunday. Just a 10% chance of rain, by the way. 93 tomorrow, 88 on Sunday. So that's your weekend if you want to plan it out. There shouldn't be any real big issues there. Hey, UTSA travels to North Texas tomorrow. There is a chance for thunderstorms up there, so that game could have some impacts from the weather. Same too for the A&M and Arkansas game. There's a 90% chance of storms, some severe. So that could cause some delays in that game for sure. Texas Tech goes to Tempe, Arizona. No rain there. Temperatures in the 80s and sunny skies. And Texas goes to Lexington. That should be a good game. Temperatures in the 70s. No rain in that forecast. So our extended forecast here, 93 tomorrow, 88 Sunday as we said, and then quiet next week. We do get some cool mornings, especially Monday with a low of 63. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning has to do with seafood. Because I ate some seafood over the break, that's why. Which U.S. state produces the most seafood? Florida, Louisiana, Alaska, or California? What do you guys think?
Every time I get a bag of tilapia from H-E-B, it says Alaska. So
Okay.
I'm going Alaska.
Okay, that's a good guess.
I'm going to go Alaska just because of that show, The Deadliest Catch. And really doing all this crazy stuff with the king crab out there.
You know what?
Please tell me I'm right.
You're right.
Yay!
Yes, it is Alaska. Alaska by far, actually. I was impressed. Over half of the nation's seafood comes from Alaska.
Got to go fishing there one day.
Yes.
Okay, 6:51 right now. We got 72 degrees outside.
Federal workers hit by the shutdown are turning to, get this, TikTok to share their struggles and seek help. We're going to tell you what they're saying coming up next on GMSA Plus.
Welcome back. Temperatures are in the low 70s this morning. We've got a few clouds out there. Should be a nice sunrise. It'll be a quiet day. 83 noontime, 88 2 o'clock, 90 will be our high. Yes, another well above average day here in San Antonio. Tomorrow could be even hotter. We could be setting records tomorrow. 93. Front does come through. It doesn't do a whole lot for our high temperatures, but it will bring some gusty winds, some much drier air on Sunday, and some cooler mornings, especially by Monday. RJ.
All right, thank you, Justin. Let's get you out the door here before 7 o'clock. Our biggest trouble spot's going to be right here, 410 south at Old Pearsall Road, affecting all of our traffic coming in from Ray Ellison and Medina Base Road. But fortunately, looks like that might be clearing out or in that stage of clearing out. Okay, so everything else across the city looking good, but we do want to let you know major closures this weekend, 1604 at 10, and also another major closure taking place at 35 South by the Forum over by 1604. So both parts of Loop 1604 are going to see some major construction and heavy traffic this weekend. Jeff.
All right, thank you so much. Coming up on GMSA Plus, we're talking about a fire that actually had flames shooting from the house. Could have been in your neighborhood. And get this, we're talking about some possible injuries that came out of that fire. That and so much more. Streaming on GMSA Plus, KSAT Plus, and KSAT.com.